Yunsu, taken aback, asks Gurim what he's talking about, but Gurim presses on, saying he remembers it now, seeing his father's body and Yunsu standing over it with a smile. Surprised, Yunsu hesitantly asks, "You saw that?" This revelation causes Gurim to break down in tears. He yells at Yunsu, begging him to make an excuse or say something to convince him that his memories are wrong. Yunsu stands silent, realizing he can't deny what happened. After a moment, he simply responds, "Yes." Gurim, devastated, runs out of the room. Yunsu is left standing there, sadness washing over him as he reflects on the truth that Gurim had known all along and kept it buried for 30 years. In his memories, Yunsu recalls that it was Sion himself who had begged Yunsu to end his life. Meanwhile, still crying, admits to himself that he always knew the truth but had desperately hoped he was wrong. He laments that Park Yunsu was all he had, but now he can no longer live with him. Outside, the manager waits near the house and sees Chea emerge first, followed shortly by Gurim. The manager feels a flicker of recognition when he sees Gurim's face, but before he can fully process it, Gurim suddenly vanishes into thin air. Shocked, the manager starts to suspect Han Chea, wondering how she's connected to these strange events. The manager hires a detective, and through their investigation, it's revealed that Chea was imprisoned for 5 years for attempted murder after threatening her ex-boyfriend with a knife. Meanwhile, Chea returns to her home, thinking that if Yunsu is not allowed to hunt, she is safe for the time being. However, upon opening the door, she finds Gurim already inside. He casually tells her that he'll be staying there for a while, as he's had a fight with Yunsu. He adds that while he's there, she can ask him anything she wants to know about Yunsu. Over the next week, Chea bombards Gurim with so many questions about Yunsu that she's left with only trivial ones, like his height, weight, and even where his moles are. Finally, she asks why Yunsu is so obsessed with her. Gurim suggests that it might be because she didn't run away. Everyone else before her either fled in fear or lost their sanity. Chea comments bitterly that there's no way to escape someone like Yunsu. Later, as they eat ramen together, she asks Gurim if he can survive on just ramen, considering he's also a vampire. Gurim replies that he's fine. From a distance, the manager, who has been keeping an eye on them, watches the interaction and becomes convinced that Chea has fooled him and is also a vampire. Determined to act, he decides to burn down Yunsu's mansion. As Chea and Gurim continue talking, she asks if Yunsu, unable to hunt for a month, wouldn't eventually starve to death. Gurim explains that vampires have emergency food stored for such situations. Meanwhile, the manager sneaks into Yunsu's mansion, preparing to carry out his plan. Unbeknownst to him, a shadowy figure silently watches his every move.